Have you ever wondered why some men who aren't rich, who aren't movie star handsome, who don't even try that hard, still have women drawn to them like a magnet? Meanwhile, the harder you try, the more distant she becomes. Here's the harsh truth you've been lied to. Society told you to chase, to impress, to perform. But the more you chase, the more you lose yourself, and the more she loses interest. Here's the secret. Nobody else will tell you. If you want any woman to truly fall for you, you don't need to chase her. You need to master yourself. In this video, I'm going to show you how emotional control, irresistible, and Stoic philosophy make you irresistibly attractive without fake tricks or cheesy pickup lines. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could forever change the way women see you. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most men will spend their entire lives chasing women and never once realize why they keep losing. They blame their looks, their height, their money, or even bad luck. But the reality is far more brutal. You've been conditioned to seek validation instead of building value. Think about it. From the time you were young, the world fed you a lie that women want you to impress them, to constantly perform, to give and give, until maybe, just maybe, she chooses you. Movies, social media, dating coaches, they all push the same message: do more for her, and she'll love you. But if that were true, why do the men who try the hardest always end up ignored, ghosted, or left behind? Here's the truth you don't want to hear. The more you chase her, the more you prove you're not worth being chased. Because attraction doesn't work like logic. It's not about convincing her. It's about creating a presence so unshakable that she feels drawn to you without you even trying. And that presence begins not with her, but with you. The addiction to approval. Most men don't want to admit this, but their entire dating life is fueled by a secret addiction. The addiction to approval. You check your phone 100 times waiting for her reply. You replay her words in your head, analyzing every detail. You bend your schedule, your time, your energy, just to please her. And yet, the more you give, the more distant she becomes. Why? Because you've placed her at the center of your worth. You've handed over the keys to your self-respect and said, "Here, decide for me if I'm enough." Brother, understand this. A woman can't fall in love with you if you don't even respect yourself. She might enjoy your attention. She might enjoy your effort. But deep attraction, the kind that makes her lose sleep thinking about you, comes only when she feels your independence. Why chasing destroys attraction? Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine a hunter chasing a deer. The harder he chases, the faster the deer runs. It's not because the deer hates the hunter, it's because chasing triggers fear and resistance. Women operate the same way. When you chase, you communicate lack. You're saying, "I don't believe I'm valuable enough on my own, so I need to prove it to you." And when she senses that, attraction collapses. Now compare that with the man who walks calmly through the forest. Not desperity, not rushing, not begging. The deer, curious, unthreatened, comes closer on its own. This is the brutal truth. The less you chase, the more magnetic you become. The more you detach, the more she invests. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's written into human psychology. What is abundant is ignored. What is scarce is valued. The lie of external worth. Here's another painful truth. Many men don't want the woman herself. They want the feeling she gives them. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel desirable. They want to feel like they matter. But let's be brutally honest, if you need her to feel worthy, you're already lost. Because worth that comes from outside can be taken away at any moment. One text, one decision, one rejection, and suddenly you collapse. That's why so many men spiral after a breakup. It's not because she was the one, it's because she was the mirror that reflected back their sense of value. And when that mirror shattered, they realized they had nothing inside to hold them up. Brother, hear me clearly. You were never missing her. You were missing yourself. And until you reclaim yourself, your discipline, your focus, your emotional control, you will keep repeating the cycle with different women, different faces, but the same emptiness. Why women test you. Now let's talk about something most men completely misunderstand: women's tests. When she cancels plans last minute, when she teases you, when she pulls away just to see if you'll chase, most men see it as rejection. They panic. They try harder. They get angry. But here's the truth. These aren't random behaviors. They're subconscious tests. A woman tests not to destroy you, but to measure you, to see if you are who you appear to be, or just another man performing for approval. If you crumble at the first sign of resistance, she knows the truth. Your confidence is fake. Your calmness is a mask. You're not grounded. You're desperate. But when you stay steady, when you don't react, don't beg, don't break, something shifts in her. She begins to feel something most men never give her: safety. And safety, brother, is more attractive than looks, money, or charm. Because when a woman feels safe in your presence, not just physically, but emotionally, her guard drops. And that's when love grows. Why Stoicism is the key. So how do you become this man? How do you move from chasing to attracting, from seeking approval to commanding respect? The answer lies in Stoicism, not the dull, outdated philosophy most people imagine, but the living, breathing discipline that has guided powerful men for centuries. Stoicism teaches you one fundamental truth. You cannot control the world. You can only control yourself. You can't control if she texts you back. You can't control if she chooses another man. You can't control if she stays or leaves. But you can control your response. And that response is everything, because the man who masters himself becomes untouchable. When she sees you're not rattled by silence, not shaken by rejection, not desperate for attention, she feels something primal: respect, curiosity, even desire, because you've just shown her what 99% of men never can. You are whole without her. The turning point. Here's where the transformation begins. The day you stop asking, "What do women want?" and start asking, "Who do I want to be?" That's the day everything changes. When you stop chasing her approval, you start attracting her respect. When you stop proving your worth, you start living it. When you stop making her the prize, you finally realize you were the prize all along. That's the brutal truth most men never face. They spend their lives running after women, trying to fill the emptiness inside. But the men who win, the men who are loved, respected, and unforgettable are the ones who turn inward, build themselves, and let women be drawn into their gravity. And here's the paradox: the moment you no longer need her is the moment she needs you most. Here's something most men never learn. Women aren't truly attracted to the man who chases. They're drawn to the man who doesn't need to. At first, this feels almost unfair. You've been told your whole life, show her more attention, buy her gifts, text her back immediately, make her laugh, make sure she knows how much you care. And yet, the harder you try, the more she pulls away. The more you give, the less she respects you. Why? Because attraction isn't about effort, it's about energy. And the man who embodies Stoic energy, calm, centered, in control, becomes magnetic without even trying. Calmness is the new charisma. Think about the last time you were around someone who was completely unshaken by chaos. Maybe it was a boss, a mentor, or even a stranger at the gym. While everyone else panicked or tried to prove themselves, this person stayed calm, didn't rush, didn't fumble, just moved with quiet confidence. How did that make you feel? You probably felt safer, maybe even curious about them. That's exactly how women feel when they encounter a man who isn't rattled by their moods, their tests, or the uncertainty of dating. Calmness is charisma. Composure is attraction. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you've already impressed yourself. The psychology of tests. Here's something most men don't realize when she cancels last minute, when she throws out a teasing comment, when she pulls back to see if you'll chase. It's not rejection, it's a test. She's not consciously trying to play games. Her subconscious is simply asking, is this man real? Is his confidence genuine, or is it just an act? And here's the paradox: every time you overreact, every time you chase, every time you break your calm, you fail the test. Not because she hates you, but because you've shown her your confidence was fragile. But when you stay steady, when you don't flinch, don't complain, don't beg you pass in the most powerful way. You show her that your self-control is real, that you don't crumble just because she withholds affection. And that's when something flips in her mind. She starts respecting you. Respect first. Attraction always follows. The Stoic frame of attraction. So how do you apply Stoicism here? Simple. 1. Control only what you can control. You can't force her to like you. You can't control if she texts back or pulls away. The only thing you control is your response. And that response is what defines whether she feels attraction or pity. 2. Detach from outcome. Most men approach dating like a gamble, hoping for her approval, desperate for her attention. The Stoic man detaches. He doesn't need her to validate him, because he already validates himself. That's what makes him stand out. 3. Embody presence. When you're on a date, stop thinking about impressing her. Stop rehearsing your next joke or worrying about her opinion. Instead, focus on being fully present. Listen deeply. Breathe slowly. Let your calmness fill the space. She'll feel it more than any clever words you could say. A real-world example. Imagine this. You're on a date, and things start going wrong. The restaurant gets your order wrong. She's clearly testing you with little comments like, "You're so quiet." Are you always like this? Most men panic. They overcompensate, crack nervous yolks, or rush to fix the situation. But the Stoic man, he doesn't flinch. He laughs lightly, stays composed, and moves forward. That calm presence doesn't just save the date, it becomes the thing she remembers. Because in her mind, she's thinking, if he's this unshaken by small inconveniences, maybe he'll be unshaken when life gets hard. Maybe I can trust him. Attraction isn't about the perfect night. It's about the energy you carry when things aren't perfect. Why detachment creates desire. Here's the paradox. No one teaches you the less attached you are to the outcome. The more she attaches to you, when she senses you're not desperate, when she feels that you're perfectly fine with or without her, it sparks curiosity. She starts asking herself, why doesn't he need me the way other men do? Why isn't he chasing? That curiosity is the seed of attraction. Because women don't fall for men who give everything away too easily. They fall for men who are scarce, disciplined, and grounded in themselves. Just like luxury items are valuable because they're rare, not because they try to convince you they're special. The final Stoic lesson. So here's the lesson for this chapter. Stop focusing on her. Start mastering yourself. Because women aren't truly attracted to the man who tries hardest. They're attracted to the man who tries least, but shows up with the most presence. The man who doesn't bend under pressure. The man who doesn't need her approval, but instead walks with a steady calm that makes her feel she just found something rare. Remember this. Chasing drains value. Détachement crée désir. And once you embody that principle, you stop asking, how do I get her? And start realizing, she's the one trying to get you. Most men think attraction is about looks, money, or flashy gestures. But here's the truth once you get past the surface. What keeps a woman coming back is not your appearance, it's the way you make her feel when she's around you. And the two tools that define this feeling are your words and your presence. If Chapter 2 was about becoming magnetic by controlling yourself, Chapter 3 is about building a deeper bond that goes beyond attraction. This is where you separate yourself from the countless men who chase with empty compliments and shallow conversation. This is where you show her that you're different, not because you're trying to prove it, but because your presence speaks louder than any trick. Why most compliments fail. Let's start here. Most men rely on compliments as their main weapon. You're beautiful. You're hot. Wow. You look amazing tonight. On the surface, these sound harmless, even sweet. But in reality, they fail. Why? Because she's heard them all before. Hundreds of times, thousands of times. To her, they're background noise, like static on the radio. Empty compliments tell her one thing: you see only what everyone else sees. You're not paying attention to her uniqueness, you're recycling lines she could hear from any man, at any time. But when you go deeper, when you complement her intelligence, her creativity, her resilience, that's when everything shifts. Because now she feels seen, not just looked at. She feels recognized, not just admired. And being seen for who she is, not just what she looks like, is one of the rarest experiences a woman can have. The Stoic way of speaking. A Stoic man doesn't talk just to fill silence. He doesn't rush to prove himself. He understands that words have weight. And when you speak less but with intention, each word lands harder. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In the same way, don't waste words trying to prove your worth. Be present. Speak deliberately. Compliment deliberately. Every word you say should carry meaning, not desperation. Here are 3 Stoic principles for powerful speech. 1. Use her name. Not every sentence, not every moment, but strategically. When you say her name while looking into her eyes, it anchors the moment. It tells her, "I see you. You matter here." 2. Compliment the rare, not the obvious. Instead of saying, "You look great," say, "I admire how passionate you get when you talk about your goals." This shifts the focus from her surface to her substance. 3. Pause. Most men rush through conversation, afraid of silence. But silence is power. When you pause after speaking, when you let your words breathe, you create tension that makes her lean in, waiting for what you'll say next. Presence. The silent language words are important, but presence is everything. Your body, your energy, your attention, they speak louder than your mouth ever could. Ask yourself this when you're with her. Are you fully there, or is your mind racing, thinking about what to say next? Worrying about whether she likes you? Checking your phone? A woman can feel when your attention is divided. It makes her feel unseen, unimportant. But when your focus is locked on her, not in a needy way, but in a calm, grounded way, it creates a connection most men can't even imagine. Presence is when you actually listen, not just wait to respond. Presence is when you notice the little details, the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves, or the slight change in her tone when she mentions something painful. Presence is when you make her feel like, in that moment, the rest of the world doesn't exist. The power of listening. Here's a secret. The best way to impress a woman is not by talking, but by listening. Most men are so focused on delivering lines, cracking jokes, or proving their worth that they miss the simplest, most powerful move, being genuinely interested. When you listen deeply, when you ask thoughtful questions, when you reflect her words back to her, you create a rare experience. You show her that she doesn't need to perform or compete for your attention. You give her the space to be herself, and that space is addictive. This doesn't mean you sit in silence, nodding. It means you engage fully. If she shares a story, don't just say, "That's cool." Ask why it mattered to her. Ask how it shaped her. Show her you're not just hearing her words, you're feeling the meaning behind them. Storytelling. The art of connection. Women connect emotionally through stories. While men often focus on facts and logic, women are drawn to the emotions beneath the narrative. That's why sharing personal stories, not to brag, but to reveal your character, is so powerful. Instead of saying, "I'm disciplined," share a story about how you woke up at 5 a.m. every day for a year to train, even when no one was watching. Instead of saying, "I'm calm under pressure," share a moment when everything went wrong, but you stayed steady and found a solution. Stories bypass the mind and go straight to the heart. And when told with presence and authenticity, they create a bond that no cheesy pickup line ever could. A real-life contrast. Picture two men on a date with the same woman. Man spends the evening showering her with generic compliments, constantly cracking jokes, and nervously checking his phone. He's eager, but unfocused. His presence feels scattered. Man B speaks less, but with purpose. When he compliments her, it's specific and genuine. He uses her name naturally. He listens more than he talks, asking thoughtful questions that make her reflect. His body language is steady, his attention undivided. Guess who she remembers the next day? Not the entertainer, not the clown, but the man who made her feel truly seen. That's the power of words and presence. The Stoic advantage. What sets the Stoic man apart is not that he knows clever lines or tricks. It's that he embodies authenticity. He doesn't say things to win her approval. He says things because they're true. He doesn't listen to manipulate. He listens to understand. He doesn't need her validation. He gives validation to himself, which is why his presence feels solid. In a noisy world filled with shallow gestures, the man who shows depth becomes unforgettable. If you want to stand out from 99% of men, forget the empty compliments. Forget the need to entertain. Instead, master two things. 1. Words with weight. Every compliment, every question, every statement, make it intentional. Speak less, but let your words matter. 2. Presence without distraction. When you're with her, be there fully. Let her feel your calm, steady energy. Make her feel like she's the only person in the room, not because you're desperate, but because your focus is a reflection of your strength. Remember, women don't fall in love with looks or gifts. They fall in love with how they feel around you. And when your words and presence make her feel seen, valued, and safe, that's when attraction transforms into something deeper. That's when she starts thinking about you long after you've left. That's when she starts chasing you, not because of what you gave her, but because of what she felt with you. By now, you understand the power of self-mastery, presence, and words. But let's get to the part most men still miss: actions. Because at the end of the day, words can only take you so far. If your actions don't match your presence, she'll see through you instantly. And here's the truth. Most men don't want to face. Women don't fall for what you say, they fall for what you consistently show. This is where Stoicism becomes not just a philosophy, but a way of living that turns you into the kind of man she pursues, instead of the man doing all the chasing. Why actions matter more than words. Imagine two scenarios. Man A says all the right things, but his body language betrays him. He slouches, fidgets, rushes his words. His compliments feel rehearsed. His promises fragile. Man B doesn't say much, but every movement, every gesture radiates calm and confidence. He's deliberate, grounded. You can feel his strength without him needing to announce it. Who do you think she remembers? The second man. Because actions are louder than noise. Actions can't be faked. This is the essence of Stoicism, living in alignment with your principles so deeply that people feel it without explanation. The Stoic body language. Stoic men understand that the body speaks before the mouth does. 1. Stand tall, shoulders back, feet planted firmly. You don't shrink to fit into the room, you expand calmly into it. This signals, I belong here. I'm not seeking permission. 2. Move slowly and deliberately. Nervous men rush. Stoic men don't. Every step, every gesture carries intention. You don't fumble with your phone or twitch with nerves. You move as if time bends around you. 3. Steady. Eye contact. Not staring. Not aggressive. Just calm presence. When you hold her gaze, she feels seen. When you release it at the right moment, she feels the subtle tension that draws her in. This kind of body language creates a gravitational pull. You're not trying to attract her, your presence does it for you. Small gestures. Big impact men often think they need grand, movie-like gestures to impress a woman. But here's the paradox. It's the small, intentional actions that strike deepest. Remembering the little detail she shared weeks ago, checking in on something meaningful she mentioned, a subtle gesture of protection, walking on the side of traffic, guiding her through a crowd without making a show of it. These actions signal one thing: you pay attention. And attention is the rarest form of currency in today's world. But notice the Stoic difference. You don't do these things to seek approval. You do them because they reflect who you are. You act with integrity regardless of her reaction. That's why they land with so much weight. The opposite of the clown, most men sabotage themselves by trying too hard to entertain. They crack endless jokes, overshare stories, and keep performing like a clown, hoping she'll laugh her way into attraction. But here's the harsh truth. Entertainment doesn't create desire. It creates amusement. She'll laugh. She'll enjoy the moment. But she won't respect you. And respect is the foundation of attraction. A Stoic man doesn't chase laughter. He creates intrigue through silence, confidence, and calm presence. Instead of trying to fill every moment with noise, he allows space. And in that space, she starts leaning in, wondering, questioning. Mystery is more powerful than entertainment. How Stoic actions trigger the chase. Let's get practical. Here's how your actions flip the script and make her chase. 1. Controlled responses. When she tests you with silence or emotional swings, you don't overreact. You don't flood her phone with messages or beg for clarity. You stay composed. This unsettles her because it breaks the pattern she expects. 2. Scarcity. Through presence. You don't give her unlimited access to your time or energy. You set boundaries. You're available when it aligns with your values, not when desperation calls. Scarcity creates value, and value creates pursuit. 3. Leading without needing. You make decision calmly. You pick the place. You set the tone, not in a controlling way, but in a confident way that signals direction. Leadership is attractive because it removes uncertainty. 4. Walking away when respect is gone. The ultimate Stoic action is this: if she disrespects you, you withdraw. No drama, no explosion, just distance. This alone flips everything. Why? Because women don't chase men who beg, they chase men they fear losing. A story that illustrates it. Picture this: 2 men are dating the same woman at different times. With the first man, she argues, tests him, pushes boundaries. He reacts every time, over-explains, apologizes too much, tries harder. She loses respect. With the second man, she tries the same tests, but he doesn't budge. He listens, acknowledges, but doesn't let his peace be disturbed. When the tests escalate, he simply says, "That's not how I move," and calmly disengages. Guess who stays on her mind? The second man. Not because he entertained her, but because his actions showed strength she couldn't control. Stoic insight. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." This is the essence of Stoic attraction. Don't talk about being confident. Don't claim you're different. Don't try to prove your worth with flashy acts. Show it in your silence. Show it in your decisions. Show it in your ability to stay calm under pressure. Because when a woman experiences your grounded presence and intentional actions, she realizes she can't manipulate you. She can't predict you, and that unpredictability ignites her pursuit. Forget chasing. Forget over-explaining. Forget trying to convince her you're valuable. Instead, master your body language. Lead with calm authority. Show attentiveness through small, deliberate actions. Protect your peace above all else. When you live this way, she doesn't just notice you, she respects you. And respect is the seed of true attraction. Remember this: entertainers are forgotten, but men of presence are unforgettable. Here's the harsh reality: no matter how much you prepare, no matter how strong your game is, sometimes things don't go the way you expect. The date flops. She suddenly pulls back. She ghosts you without reason. Or worse, you pour your heart in, and it still ends in silence. Most men collapse here. They panic. They overthink. They start chasing harder, sending double texts, apologizing for things they didn't even do wrong, lowering their standards just to win her back. And in that desperate moment, they lose the very thing that makes them attractive, their dignity. But this is where Stoicism steps in, not as a philosophy on paper, but as a living shield that saves you from destruction and turns failure into fuel. When a date fails, let's start with the small things. You plan a date. The restaurant is crowded. The food is bad. Conversation feels awkward. Most guys spiral. They start overcompensating, cracking too many jokes, apologizing non-stop, trying to fix what can't be fixed. And in that panic, The vibe sinks even lower. A stoic man, he doesn't chase perfection. He embraces the imperfection. He laughs it off calmly. Maybe even says, "Not the best spot. But hey, we've got a good story out of it." That calm energy resets the tone. She sees a man who isn't rattled by circumstances, and that's more attractive than any perfect plan could ever be. Lesson: it's not the failure that matters. It's how you carry yourself through it. When she pulls away, this is where most men fail completely. She starts texting less, replying slower, acting distant. Immediately, the average man panics. He sends more texts. He asks if she's upset. He tries harder to please her. And in that moment, she feels his energy shift from calm confidence to desperate validation seeking. Attraction dies instantly. A stoic man responds differently. He recognizes the truth. I don't control her actions. I only control mine. So instead of chasing, he gives space. He doesn't explode, doesn't beg, doesn't interrogate. He simply pulls back his energy, recenters his focus on his mission, his growth, his peace. And in that space, something powerful happens. She realizes he isn't dependent on her. And that unpredictability flips the script suddenly. She's the one wondering if she's losing him. Lesson: you don't chase withdrawal. You let withdrawal reveal her true intentions. When she leaves, this is the hardest storm. She ends things, walks away. Maybe she says it's about her. Maybe she says nothing at all. And here's where most men break completely. They drown in overthinking, questioning their worth, replaying every moment like a broken record. But the Stoic response is different. You remember Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. She left. That's outside your control. Your response, that's entirely within your control. Instead of crumbling, you channel that energy into the gym, not for revenge, but for discipline, into your work, not for distraction, but for building legacy, into silence, not to manipulate her, but to heal yourself. Every moment you would have wasted on chasing her, you invest into becoming a stronger, calmer, sharper man. And ironically, that's when she feels your absence most. Not because you tried to get her back, but because you stopped trying completely. Lesson: you didn't lose her. She lost you, and you gained yourself back. The Stoic paradox of loss. Here's the paradox most men never understand. The moment you stop fearing loss, you stop losing. When you cling, you weaken yourself. When you chase, you give her power. When you obsess, you destroy your peace. But when you let go calmly, firmly, you win. Because freedom is the ultimate power, and women can sense when a man is free, free from her moods, free from her silence, free from needing her to validate his worth. That kind of man becomes unforgettable. The final Stoic truth: attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about being unshakable. When the date goes wrong, stay calm. When she pulls away, hold your frame. When she leaves, rise higher. Your silence, your presence, your discipline. That's what makes her regret. That's what makes her wonder. That's what makes her realize she lost a man she can't replace. And here's the ultimate message. A Stoic man doesn't lose anything in heartbreak. He only gains strength. Because what cannot break you only makes you more unshakable. Brother, now you've seen the truth. It's not about pickup lines. It's not about gifts. It's not even about trying to impress her. It's about you. The man who rises above rejection, the man who doesn't chase validation, the man who knows his worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. That man is rare. That man is powerful. That man is unforgettable. And here's the final lesson. The greatest revenge is not proving her wrong. The greatest revenge is peace.